Hey everybody, been a long time since I've been on this channel. Once again, pretty much going through some stuff going on right now behind the scenes. And if you haven't been aware of what's been going on after the last I uploaded any kind of form of video whatsoever, considering this video dated, I have some news about the Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan films, and as well as what was once my channel's original name of PR Lost Galaxy 2014. After I've been off of YouTube for a while, I had to rethink of what I have been doing over the course of YouTube. Now, for those who have been wondering, because I've already figured that according to the analytics and everything else, knowing to the fact that I'm not dead or the channel is dead, it's just maybe I have been off of YouTube for a while, and I think that in order for me to keep on growing on YouTube, I gotta post more content. Which, yeah, what kind of Power Rangers fan am I to not post as much content as I used to be anymore? But to put it simply, the real reason why I've been off of YouTube for every now and then for the most of the year of 2019 is because simply I had to rethink of my future, rethinking of what I've been doing on YouTube as a Power Rangers YouTuber known as PR Lost Galaxy 2014. Before I get to more details about Power Rangers or the fan films or this channel in general, I will update you guys on what I've caught on for the last couple of months after my absence off of YouTube, including the re-releases of certain fan films I've done with their extended cuts and whatnot. Yes, I was aware of the deaths and passings of 4 particular Power Ranger actors, of Pua Magastiva, who played Shane, the Red Ranger of Power Rangers Ninja Storm, and of course, the late Robert Axelrod, who was the voice of Lord Zed from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Through in Space, and was also multiple voices of other monsters and such in Power Rangers as well, including Finster from Mighty Morphin. I have already, in the meantime, have started collecting some of the Lightning Collection figures from Hasbro for Hasbro's Power Rangers Lightning Collection. At this time, the only Lightning Collection figures I have collected is just the Shadow Ranger and Magna Defender. I will collect more of the Lightning Collection as time goes on, even though this may hint that I may return doing some PR Lost Galaxy toy review, PR Lost Galaxy 2014 toy reviews in some capacity. But at the moment, no plans are for it at this time. But I will update you somewhere or some way in a future video or a future Facebook post. Yes, I have been aware of the Power Rangers Psychopath graphic novel, which is an in-space Lost Galaxy Psycho Ranger graphic novel. I will get my hands on that graphic novel when I have the time to. But the reason why I haven't been doing most of the majority of anything Power Rangers related for the last 6 months or more is simply I have been completely busy on my last Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film, that being Infinite Frontier. And the reason for this, the reason why I haven't been doing much stuff for Infinite Frontier or any updates or news about it is simply because, well, I've been struggling trying to get the money to buy the Zords for the following Super Sentai series that I was very fond of for the last 2 years. Also for Infinite Frontier, if you haven't been hearing any updates about my third and final fan film of my initial Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film trilogy, Power Rangers Lost Galaxy Infinite Frontier will not be from what I originally wanted for the third movie while I was still doing Wrath of Trakeena. I originally was going to do my own fan fiction remake of Super Mega Force within Power Rangers Lost Galaxy 3. And I think there was a good reason not to do my fan film remake of Super Mega Force within a Lost Galaxy fan film. If you recall, this marks 5 years after Super Mega Force ended and Mega Force as a whole. And due to the amount of universal bashing by the fans, because, well, we all know Mega Force was a terrible season, and due to how Super Mega Force butchered the Gokaiger footage, I decided to go ahead not to do my own fanfiction adaptation of Gokaiger within Super Mega Force within Power Rangers Lost Galaxy 3. However, there are some elements I will pertain from Super Mega Force / Gokaiger, but the only 2 elements of it being the Silver Ranger's costume and the Super Mega Force Legendary Morphers, but they will be named something else, something that will be akin for my fanfiction version of Power Rangers before it comes to a close with Infinite Frontier. Like Wrath of Trakeena before it, however, I'm going to spend the rest of this year and most of all of next year, 2020, working on Power Rangers Lost Galaxy Infinite Frontier. And as I made clear before, though, when it comes to these fan films I've been making for the last almost last decade almost now, as of Infinite Frontier, unfortunately, future Power Ranger fan films I'm going to make now have no set schedule. As of now, I'm going to start treating fan films like how fan films should have been done, but fan films I'm going to make of Power Rangers are going to be at least longer or 2 hours longer because as much as I did a recent Trakina fan film that was 50 minutes at least shorter than a usual long-length fan film I did recently. And the real reason why Trakina's fan film spinoff, well, if you have seen it, great! Because I felt like I needed to do some different type of Power Rangers fan film that was not as long as the other two bore fests of fan films that nobody liked. That being Power Rangers Lost Galaxy 2014 or Wrath of Trakina. I know for a lot of those who are aware of Wrath of Trakina's existence on my YouTube channel, that being this, I know a lot of you probably are figuring, you know, for those who probably wondered, like, all I ever did was that 2014 fan film, which I did 5 years ago. But you should know that my recent Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film of the Wrath of Trakina exists, but I think a lot of people have been overshadowed by other fan films such as the Unworthy movies or Power Rangers Immortal or any kind of bigger budget Power Rangers fan film there is at the moment. And I think even in the Hasbro era, I don't think a lot of people even care about Power Ranger fan films anymore, unless if they're the Unworthy films that are based on the Boom Studio comics of like Shattered Grid or the Psycho Ranger story from the comics or not. Even though I'm aware of a couple Power Ranger fan films like the Unworthy films, but I hardly ever have the time and chance to look at those films and give my overall thoughts on those. But it's just personally, I'm more about my fan films because see, that's the thing. I've always been, for the last, how many years I've been on this channel now? 7 years or so. And I've been thinking more about myself and Lost Galaxy when knowing that was one of the really egregious, ubiquitous reasons why my channel has been dead and why my time on YouTube has found its demise. But as I get back on YouTube, I'm going to figure out some ways to shape it up and trying to change my attitude and the like. And lately, the reason why I've been off of YouTube as well is simply, while I was looking back on a lot of my older videos that I know a lot of people don't really watch as much videos of mine as I do, but when it's like particular videos when I did a bunch of those ubiquitous rants about the Neo Saban era, and when I made it clear in my last update video about this stuff, I made it clear that I wanted to leave the past behind. But when I get back on YouTube, I have a lot of cleaning house to do with this channel, and that being deleting every single video related to the TV show when it was the Neo Saban era, and as well as videos related to the 2017 Power Rangers movie I did when there was a lot of egregious news about the 2017 movie being out and about. And yes, I was also aware months ahead, following my prolonged absence from the channel almost nearly all year long, that Hasbro has plans on a new Power Rangers film. But if you want to hear my update to a particular person from Power Rangers Now that someone suggested me, that there's the video right in the channel, just click it, it's after this one anyway. I felt to me that of the years I've done all the ranting and raving about the Neo Saban era and also all of my personal life tumult that I had to spew into the channel, one of the reasons why my YouTube channel died initially, if you could put it simply, is that if you look back on a couple of my videos, you don't have to watch every video I did before this point, but if you look back on a lot of videos where I was bringing up stuff that happened in my personal life while I was doing my passionate things for Power Rangers and these fan films, a lot of the videos where I rambled about my personal life and my 12th grade year, stuff that was happening to me this decade, that stuff is, all of that stuff that I said in those videos are coming down. However, I'm planning on doing reduxes of some of those videos, but unfortunately, they're not going to be on this channel, unfortunately. Since I'm not using YouTube as often anymore, I am posting videos on Dailymotion and Facebook. But see, I think that moving from two different video sharing platforms instead of this one is probably why my YouTube channel is already dead. So what I need to do is take some time off of Facebook and Dailymotion and come back straight to YouTube and post these videos again. But however, like I made it clear, guys, on the why I stopped talking about Power Rangers video, part of my former Terra Venture podcast show, is simply because of the amount of raving, complaining, and as well as talking down to what potential fans and audience I have for the channel. Because after all, I know that a lot of people have probably forgotten about me at this point. I think that once I stopped posting videos on YouTube, then it seemed that like Anthony Marsh Jr. is gone. Did he disappear or what? No, it's just simply I just wanted to take a break from YouTube because I realized posting a lot of videos every day was a little too hectic for me, and knowing to the fact that I just never have the time to do what I really was passionate about, doing these fan films of Power Rangers Lost Galaxy that I said I was planning on doing, and which I'm going to continue doing. Even no matter how many times I fail, I'm going to keep on doing these films no matter what. I will continue to do Power Ranger fan films amidst of the fact that even at the age of 27, pushing 30 now, still doing fan films in the medium. I've been doing it since 2010 to the end. Because, however, if you didn't know, Power Rangers Lost Galaxy Infinite Frontier, despite the fact that 2014 and Wrath of Trakeena, so obviously what I've noticed while I was gone, I've noticed that Wrath of Trakeena and my first fan film of Power Rangers Lost Galaxy from 5 years ago has finally gained over 1,000 views. Thank you for the support for that, folks, because actually I think those 1,000 views for those films is all I needed, because I'm not as big as of a Power Rangers YouTuber than most of those in the fandom, like let's say, Power Rangers, YouTube, fandom spectrum on YouTube, such as Sentai Review or John of Mr. Winnie Productions, Dawson Writer, Bruno Mia of MMPR Toys, Ranger Liz, etc., etc. I'm just one of those Power Ranger YouTubers who just makes these videos for the heck of it, and not only that, I'm not making money on YouTube. I'm just doing these videos as a hobby. I just hope you guys understand that tangent. Also, another update about my presence on social media and stuff. I am no longer doing Patreon. Actually, I never did Patreon, but I had a Patreon account open. But by the end of October, I'm terminating my Patreon account since nobody was making donations. And see, when I first started Patreon in late 2016, one of the donation goals was to have patrons, even though I never really made money on these videos anyway, to give me $100 a month. But that go to show how greedy I was back in 2016. So that's why I'm taking down my Patreon. And sometime I'll likely restart my Patreon sometime, I don't know where in the future, when I have the time to do so. And the next time I do Patreon, if you want to donate any money for me to make better content, you can only donate to me for $1 a month, so that way I can actually make better content for the Power Rangers YouTube, for the Power Rangers fandom, and with my side of my fan base on YouTube, because that's the only way I'm going to have to be well known for if I want to be successful. And I think another factor why I was off YouTube and looking back on was my attitude adjustment over the last 6 years I've been on YouTube. If you also haven't noticed about my behavior lately on YouTube, every time when I talk down to certain people who were commenting to me or just being rude to me as I was being rude to those people, is simply because of my attitude adjustment. And I think with my pessimism and attitude is why I was never successful on YouTube. But now there has been a change around that I had to change with my aspect of my life on YouTube, where I had to look back on all my old videos where I was ranting and raving, and while I was getting a little upset and butthurt that I was worried that other people would overshadow me and stomp on my fan films, when knowing, why should I worry about what other people in the Power Rangers fandom is doing with their fan films? So if they're going to do great fan films of like The Immortal and Unworthy and those high concept fan films with live actors, great. I'll continue doing how I do Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan films or Power Ranger films in general. Because I know that over the years of the 2010s, I've been on YouTube, and I've been on YouTube for almost now 8 years. And looking back, I was coming off like a whiny, scared, angry, insecure little B word, basically, if you can put it, because I know I've been acting like that a lot. Because if you can tell in a couple of my videos, that's just how my attitude was. But when I come back on YouTube, I'm going to delete all those videos. And starting 2020, I'm going to wipe the slate completely clean, begin my new era on YouTube, even though when I drudge into my 30s, because I know that my 20s was not all that great, because I know that basically what I have been going through this whole decade was, in fact, a quarter-life crisis, but that's no excuse. So that's one of the reasons why I had to step down from YouTube for a while. No, Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, the fan film series I'm doing, is dead, or PR Lost Galaxy 2014 is dead. I know the channel in itself is technically dead, but it's just, I just been busy trying to get Power Rangers Lost Galaxy 3 finished. And actually this time, I'm going to take my time getting these films done proper, and then once I've finished and done everything, then I'll release them on my own time. Because after all, I have heard responses back on Ranger Board 5 years ago when correlating to my first fan film. If you haven't noticed, if you go to Ranger Board's fan film discussion thread that started dated back in 2012, and whenever you see any posts about them mentioning me in a negative light on Ranger Board, you'll know what I was talking about. And then one of them saying that I was trying to be some, I was pretending to be some Hollywood producer of a such. But see, I know I was kind of coming off a little bit like that. You see, over the years I've been on YouTube as a Power Rangers fan and going around the fandom talking about me doing paper doll fan films of Lost Galaxy. And I know even at 27 years old at the time of this video is recording now, since I've been off of YouTube for a while after I released the extended cut of Wrath of Trakina and the complete cut of my first fan film that, well, nobody had a great impression on 5 years ago, I kind of felt that the films I was working on, it go to show I was lacking encouragement or support and passion for the thing. But it seemed to me that I let my personal anguish of the past hold me back, and as well as several other things that were holding me back from letting me succeed in these things. And I think simple the reason why it's taken me forever to do these movies and put them out there is because, see, doing these fan films, if it's just me with a camera, the cardboard cutout mountain board paper dolls of the Power Rangers and such I made, and having a bunch of green screen and stuff, it's not an easy process. See, doing these fan films of Lost Galaxy I've been doing in this medium is time consuming. It takes at least 2 to 3 years to finish these films. Although I'm nearly about halfway finished writing the script for Infinite Frontier, because when I initially started work on the film immediately months after I already finished filming Trakina's spin-off film for a month early this winter, back when the brutal winter winter days this winter was pretty much of a strain on me to get that short film done, was simply because I had a false start on Infinite Frontier. So until when the script is finished, I'm going to pretty much spend most of next year, 2020 that be it, on Power Rangers Lost Galaxy Infinite Frontier. And I made it clear back in 2014, even if my first film from 5 years ago, well, sucked, and I already saw the amount of dislike tallies on the extended cut of the first movie recently, that there are probably still the same people who hated me 5 years ago then that probably still hate me for making that fan film 5 years later now. But I don't blame them. I mean, I'm going to continue, like I said before, I'm not going to give up doing these fan films. I'm going to continue doing what I love, and I don't care what people say or what I do. Even if I turn into a 30-year-old man still doing this, I will still do it to the end, no matter the cost. Main reason, speaking of Infinite Frontier, again, I know I'm all over the place because, guys, you gotta know I haven't been on YouTube in a while, and I haven't been posting as much content. I mean, I'm not going to quit YouTube. It's just, I just wanted a vacation. I needed some time off to let go of all the stress and pressure that was from the dark age of this franchise, that being the Neo Saban era and all. Is that Infinite Frontier, I'm trying to go all out and trying to give a more definitive conclusion to a fan film series of Power Rangers Lost Galaxy that I've been doing since 2014 that nobody pretty much gave me a chance for. So Infinite Frontier, I'm going to try as much as possible, and I'm going to keep my promise there that I'm going to try to go all out with Infinite Frontier as much as possible, because the plan is, since I mentioned about me not doing my fan fiction recreation of Super Mega Force, I decided to do my partial fan fiction hybrid of the following Super Sentai series before it would eventually become a season of the Hasbro era Power Rangers, albeit Uchu Sentai Q Ranger. And the main plan, the reason why I haven't been doing much stuff for the fan film, is because I'm busy trying to get as much money as possible to order the Q Ranger, Q Reno Zords off of Amazon. And when that happens, this will be my very first time as a Power Rangers fan, and for someone who's just casual on Super Sentai at the moment, to collect some items from Bandai Japan's Super Sentai line. Since even though Hasbro owns Power Rangers, but it feels like Bandai Japan's toys of Q Ranger, as well as any other 2010 Sentai really, that have been squandered and butchered by the Neo Saban era to death, that the Bandai Japan toys of Q Ranger I will be using for the new Megazord for Power Rangers Lost Galaxy 3. Because after all, I mean, Q Ranger Zords, you see, at the time of this, I'm only like 25 episodes into Q Ranger at the moment, and I'm actually enjoying the Sentai so far. But until I finish the Sentai and then get a full sense of how am I going to take some influence from that for my final Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film of this generation. This is not going to be my final Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film for good. It's just the final Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film of the 2010s era of doing these fan films. Because starting 2020, 2021, I will begin what I promised, the Power Rangers Legacy Universe, starting with my PRLU reboot of Lost Galaxy. But then you're probably going to be asking me about that, like, Why am I starting with Lost Galaxy when I should start with Mighty Morphin? Because we got to go by season order and in order of sequence of seasons of the history of Power Rangers for the PRLU. You see, here's the thing. Speaking of that PRLU reboot of Lost Galaxy, I still have in development right now at the moment, but no full script, but I already, jotted down a pitch for it. Is simply I already got my fan cast of actors I will make puppets out of to be the original Lost Galaxy Rangers of Leo and Kendricks in them. And yes, the PRLU reboot of Power Rangers Lost Galaxy will feature the real Lost Galaxy Rangers of Leo, Damon, Kai, Kendricks, and Maya, and as well as Mike, but I'll probably save Mike for a sequel that depends, but I really shouldn't talk about a sequel now if I haven't made that first one yet. Because simply the reason for this, because for those who heard of me doing a fan film reboot of Power Rangers Lost Galaxy 7 years ago in 2012, which was the first ever video I ever uploaded on this channel, if you haven't seen it, oh yeah, that's right, I had left it unlisted because the potential copyright claim about me using the Lost Galaxy theme song in the beginning of that video from 2012, but I'll probably make it public again when I get the chance, so I can give you guys a refresher coming from that video to this one. When I announced that I was going to do a fan film reboot of Lost Galaxy 7 years ago when I started this channel back in 2012, I originally didn't want to do the original Lost Galaxy Rangers of Leo and them as the Galaxy Rangers because they are the Galaxy Power Rangers. And the reason why I didn't want to do them the Marsh-Verse, because I felt, for those who didn't know about the fan films and why nobody cared about those originally created characters of mine that were the Power Rangers in the films I'm currently doing, is because I felt that if I ruined the essence of the original characters of Leo and Kendricks in them in the Lost Galaxy group, then a lot of fans would hate me for what I would have done to them. And even though I already know some people haven't even made comments of what I did to Trakina yet, even though she's a legacy villain from Lost Galaxy that I reimagined of sorts in these recent films. But if you watch Wrath of Trakina and her spinoff of recent, you'll know what I was talking about. So that's one of the reasons why I used my OC characters as the Power Rangers. But when I do the PRLU, I'm going to try to get a chance in my own stab at the original Lost Galaxy team of Leo and Kendricks and Damon and the rest of the group for the future film after Infinite Frontier is up. Also, for the Morphin Grid case studies, I am at the moment working on the Scorpius videos, so be on the lookout for the Scorpius Morphin Grid case study at the end of this month, by the time October is up, and before you know it, November is here. And can you believe we're almost to the end of the 2010s and the end of 2019 as I know it. And obviously, another reason why I haven't been posting much videos about Power Rangers or so on this channel, basically, I know that when I did my 20th anniversary retrospective Lost Galaxy in a 50-minute video, I've already made my peace. And speaking of that video, since I can't seem to, have that video up on YouTube for any longer, if you should know, a long time ago when I had that video up on YouTube, I've already said this back in the last update video for that, was that the reason why I took that my Lost Galaxy 20th anniversary video down, tribute video down, was because I've noticed that when I was checking my video manager, I had received a copyright notice from Toei and Hasbro about a portion of Super Mega Force from the episode where where Orion, the Silver Ranger from Super Mega Force, appeared. If you recall, in my Lost Galaxy retrospective 20th anniversary video I posted earlier this February this year, I had received multiple copyright claims about that particular section of that video. And then when I had a notification from Hasbro and Toei and a copyright notice from them on YouTube, it was about, in fact, that segment from that specific Super Mega Force episode where the Mega Force Rangers did do that particular Lost Galaxy legend shift when they were fighting that Gorgax monster from Silver Lining Part 1 of Super Mega Force in my Lost Galaxy video. But Hasbro and Toei did not flag most of the other parts of the video for the other video clips I used from Lost Galaxy, just that Super Mega Force portion of that video. And speaking of that, I'm working on at least one final re-edit and re-upload of the Lost Galaxy retrospective video before the 20th anniversary is up. And not only that, my 20th anniversary plans have been, well, in the dark. And after all, I'm glad Power Rangers Lost Galaxy turned 20 years old, so to celebrate what's left of the 20th anniversary, because 2020, it will be time for Lightspeed Rescues 20th anniversary. So I will be able to put up my final re-upload of that video, but it's not going to be that much video clips. I'm going to try not to have as much video moving images in this final re-upload for YouTube. But if you want to see my last re-edit of the Lost Galaxy retrospective video, well, I'll try to put it up there and hit the bulletin on putting the video up on PR Lost Galaxy 2014's Facebook page if you want to see that video again. But for the final re-edit for YouTube specifically, it will be less video clips, more images or fan art or something to cover up what I'm discussing about Lost Galaxy for my tribute video that I did for it. But as for the RPM video that I planned before its 10th anniversary is up, for any Power Rangers RPM fan, for those who were watching my Lost Galaxy retrospective video earlier, I had plans on doing an RPM 10th anniversary tribute video, but the repercussions would be if I use a lot of video clips and less photo stills like I did in my Lost Galaxy retrospective earlier, Hasbro and Toei will flag the crap out of the video for copyright because of the moving video images and stuff. So all I can say is I have rewatched RPM recently, not so long ago. I had underestimated RPM, and I gotta realize RPM is in fact one of the best seasons of Power Rangers ever. There, I said it. But so therefore, I don't have to do a video for RPM. I mean, I'll just say 10 years later, it's still one of the best seasons Disney has ever did. But it's just, in general, though, I'm just no longer doing a lot of videos about Power Rangers because I'm just beat and burnt out at the moment. After all the crap I've gone through with the Dark Age, that was the Neo Saban era. And yes, the Neo Saban era was a dark age for Power Rangers, much like as the Dark Age of Star Wars with Disney is with Star Wars, but what can you do? So I don't know if I want to start up toy reviews, podcasts, or what again, but I did have plans according to my past plans before 2019 is up that I was going to restart the movie rants, because my last movie rant, speaking of that piece of content of PR Lost Galaxy 2014, my last movie rant I've done on this channel was on the Elvira Mistress of the Dark movie, since for those who may not know, I am a fan of Elvira Mistress of the Dark, but I did a movie rant about her movie 3 years ago. So the next movie rant for the first time from this channel for the first time in 3 years will be on Tommy Wiseau's The Room. I will get that video out when I have the time and effort to do so. So those are my plans of what's going on PR Lost Galaxy 2014 and, well, now known as Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film. So if you haven't heard, earlier in my last update video about the channel and my update status, that this channel is going to be specifically about fan films of Power Rangers now. If you want to see me do videos about toys or such about Power Rangers, I'll do those only now on Dailymotion and Facebook. So I know it's going to basically sink my channel's, growth much lower and then cause me to say I quit YouTube. So then what's the point doing videos about Power Rangers anymore if people don't care about my fan film stuff? I know some people do, but not everybody's going to care about me still, even at 27 years old, still doing, I know I'm rambling on about this for almost 30 minutes, but it's just true. So anyway, guys, thank you for your continued support. Thanks for the over 1,000 views for both fan films of my Lost Galaxy films, and I'll see you guys for more future films to come, and as well as other videos I will do in the future.